From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News Weekend Edition.
Good evening. Welcome to our Saturday edition of the Fbx Evening News. I'm Katie Looper. Our top story tonight. A North Pole family escaped injury this afternoon after their trailer home caught on fire. The North Star Volunteer Fire Department responded to a reported structure fire at 1719 Coachman Lane just after 1 o'clock. Firefighters knocked down flames that had originated near the chimney of the 14x70 trailer home. Though damage was confined to the back half of the structure, the trailer was declared a complete loss. North Star Deputy Fire Chief David Daniel says there were no injuries associated with the blaze.
The owner stated he had a little chimney fire. He had a wood stove in there, and he actually heard it start creeping from up into the ceiling, so he called 911 right away and got himself and the dog out. His wife was already out, so everybody was outside of the structure. And when we did get Red Cross coming out to help support them with somewhere to stay tonight and get them set up for whatever they need.
University of Alaska officials visited the Secretary of the United States Navy yesterday here in Fairbanks. Navy Secretary Ray Mabus visited the UAF campus to view the tip of an iceberg full of useful data researchers have to offer the Navy. UA President Pat Gamble and UAF Chancellor Brian Rogers introduced several other researchers and scientists. They each gave presentations on topographical mapping, oceanography, and developing technologies. Mabus took a special interest in the new mapping and radar breakthroughs that are being made. He says the Arctic is an increasingly important strategic area for naval operations, adding that he looks forward to the future work with the UA system.
What allows me to do is to task people like Office of Naval Research, task people like the oceanographer of the Navy, task organizations like the Navy Postgraduate School to come do a much deeper dive. We have members of my immediate staff that work on these issues, that will follow up, that will be coming in.
The Fairbanks Legislative Information Office held a holiday open house last night. The event served as an opportunity for constituents to meet with the interior legislators and their staff prior to the upcoming session in Juneau and enjoy some refreshments. It also gave interior residents the chance to learn of services offered by the LIO.
Our role is to help area constituents, individuals, businesses, groups, nonprofits connect with their legislator while they're away in Juneau, help them with submitting written comments, expressing their opinions and concerns with policy that's on the docket.
No one has to do everything, but everyone has to do something. That's the motto for a new violence prevention plan in Fairbanks called Green Dot. Trainers met this week at Friends Church, and we have more now in this report. In 2013, Alaska had nearly 4,500 cases of violent crimes.
We know that violence is happening. We know that people are getting hurt here. But we just keep hearing numbers, and we're not maybe thinking that those are people, those are individuals who are experiencing harm.
In an effort to decrease violence in our community, Fairbanks has adopted a nationally recognized violence prevention program developed by Dr. Dorothy Edwards.
So I've been in law enforcement for over 20 years, and in that time, I've seen a lot of the devastation that's caused by interpersonal violence. The same things I was dealing with at the beginning of my law enforcement career are the same things I'm dealing with today. So how do we change that? And that's really where Green Dot comes in.
It really addresses that feeling of hopelessness we sometimes feel, and that feeling that I can't change the world, I'm just one person.
Red dots on the map of Alaska would represent all the instances in which someone chose to harm another person. The strategy of the program is to change those red dots into green ones that represent a choice to intervene.
Historically, we have looked at interpersonal violence and put people in two categories, right? The perpetrator and the victim. The reality is there's another party there. It's the bystander.
Proactive Green Dot users can either address the situation directly, delegate the issue to someone else, or distract by creating a diversion that interrupts a red dot choice.
You might not be Martin Luther King, but what you have and exactly who you are and your skill sets and your quality and your personality is enough to see change.
If the only people getting involved are social workers or former victims or people who volunteer, we're going to change the culture when everybody says, I can do my part, I can do this, and I don't want violence to be tolerated in this community anymore.
Green Dot Alaska and the Interior Alaska Center for Nonviolent Living encourage community groups, business owners, and individuals to get involved in making a conscious choice to decrease violence in our community. This is Katie Luber reporting. We'll have more when our weekend's only televised newscast returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. Today, marketing students from the University of Alaska Fairbanks toured around town with a dog sled full of gifts. The students' final class project was to publicize a local business with a unique tactic called guerrilla advertising. Richard Stout brought his dog Buddy along, aka Santa's Yelper, to help draw in a crowd. Stout and his peers were inspired by local business manager Tim Erickson, owner of Cold Spot Feeds, to use guerrilla advertising, a method that grabs the attention of customers and brings brand awareness. Today, they visited 5 different locations to hand out dog treats and 10% off coupons. They've also created a short web video for online advertising. Today, we asked the marketing students what they have learned.
So what I've learned from here is that while we're making people aware, I'm also learning about things that the people find more valuable about Cold Spot than I would have ever thought.
I've never done anything like this before. Before we've created like print ads and things like that. But I feel like this is really creates more of like a personal experience and really like gives you an opportunity to bond with people.
The Fairbanks School District has released their annual class size report. According to the district, class sizes are important for making staffing adjustments as enrollments fluctuate within schools and across the district. The report showed the average size for kindergarten through 6th grade is 23 students per classroom. Middle and high school range around the same at roughly 23 students. This level is lower than previous years in the Fairbanks North Star Borough. School Board President Heidi Haas says this year's report puts the district on the right path. 2 years from now, there will be some changes in graduation requirements for high school students. Beginning in 2017, students will have to have 3 math credits instead of 2 that are necessary now. The State Board of Education will also be working to implement changes on how students can be restrained. Specific rules will be added as to when and how students can be restrained while prohibiting use of restrainment as punishment or disciplinary technique. Department of Education Commissioner Mike Hanley says this will bring Alaska in line with requirements already in place for most of the nation.
Our school districts are doing well in regards to restraint and seclusion, but it's important to formalize that to make sure that there's a benchmark for all of our districts to reach. And the idea is to make sure that our school districts across the state are doing it in a way that's safe for our kids, the parents are in the loop, and it's respectful. We're not putting kids in harm's way.
It's time once again to put the spotlight on one of the 21 agencies that make up the United Way of the Tanana Valley. Tonight, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Alaska. Here's Mike Schultz with more.
Big Brothers Big Sisters strengthens the community by providing mentors to all children who need and want a caring adult role model. The driving force behind Big Brothers Big Sisters in Fairbanks and for Alaska in general is Tabor Rehbaum. I asked Tabor what impact the United Way has in helping Big Brothers and Big Sisters operate.
Well, the great thing about receiving United Way contributions is this is money that we can apply wherever the need is. This is money that helps us keep the lights on and the rent paid in between the fundraisers and the big grants. And one of the most meaningful things about receiving United Way contributions is contributions from our friends and people in the community. It represents community support.
With her involvement with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, what does Tabor feel gives her the most fulfillment in her job?
That's hard because there's so many aspects. What Big Brothers Big Sisters does is match kids who can benefit from additional attention with volunteers that help them develop in a way that will help them succeed in school and avoid delinquency, avoid substance abuse. The thing that really fulfills is the fact that we're working with parents and teachers who want something better for the kids that they have and they're dealing with, and we're working with volunteers who want to make a difference and are having fun while they're making a difference.
Finally, what makes her most proud of Big Brothers and Big Sisters?
I think the proudest moment are the little moments when I'm in Fred Meyer or on the street and a person comes running up to me and thanks me for participating in the program. When a grandmother comes and tells me how wonderfully her granddaughter is doing because of the impact her big sister had on her. Those are the times that I'm so proud to be associated with this program and the wonderful staff that helps make it happen, and the volunteers who are truly changing lives every single day.
The United Way campaign continues until early next year. But remember, all donations stay within the community. Mike Schultz reporting.
Austin Buchanan is coming up next with all your local sports action. Stay tuned.
Well, welcome Interior Alaska to our Saturday Sportscast. Austin Buchanan here. Time to take a look at some sports. Well, last night the Alaska Nanooks were on the road to the road game in Mankato, Minnesota. The Nooks entering the ice with an 8-6 overall record, but this matchup was huge for the Nanooks as they took on the squad ranked number 2 nationally in the Western Collegiate Hockey Association. The Nooks went in early, taking charge in the first 5 minutes of the game after Tyler Morley finds the goal, making a 1-0 lead for the Nooks, but the Nooks weren't able to stop Minnesota from answering back. Less than 2 minutes later, Bryce Gervais gets the tying score in the opening period. The Nanooks took the lead once again in the second period after Peter Krager and Kyle Feroce found Taylor Munson for the UAF go-ahead score. The second period will come to an end after Minnesota's Blake Thompson scores to tie the game 2-2. Neither team could find a victory in the third period after each scoring 2 goals apiece. So what does that mean? Well, overtime. With the score tied 4-4, Austin Vythe would heat up the ice in his team midway through overtime to give the Nanooks a big 5-4 overtime victory on the road. Continuing with hockey action, not only was it the Nanooks on the road last night, but also the Ice Dogs as they made their appearance in a North American Hockey League matchup in Wenatchee, Washington. Ice Dogs hit the ice inside the Toyota Center in Game 2 of 3 of the non-divisional series, coming off a Thursday night victory 4-3 against the Wild. The Ice Dogs off to a good start early on a Lonnie Clary, who gave them the 1-0 lead in the first period. The Wild answered back with 3 goals in a row, and 2 of them coming from forward Steve Bryant. Bryant's first goal came with the game tied at 18 minutes and 29-second mark with the power play goal set up by Colin Brewston. The Wild went ahead 2-1 at 8:24 after Andre Poison's goal early in the third period. The Wild eventually found the 3-2 victory against the Ice Dogs last night. Loss marks the third straight 1-goal outcome between the teams. Well, now to some Nanook swimming. Just a word today. The Alaska Nanook swim team had a big night in day 1 of the Husky Invitational last night. The Nooks combined to score 317 points through day 1 with record-breaking performances in the 200 freestyle relay. Martha Hood, Victoria Adams, Margaret Adams, and Katie Stark broke the varsity record for Alaska swimming with a time of 1 minute and 35 seconds. That mark would also come within 0.01 seconds of winning the first events. With that time, the Nooks finished second in the 400 medley relay. The final event, the Nanooks achieved an NCAA B cut as the team of Victoria Adams, Margaret Adams, and Katie Stark took first place with a time of 3 minutes 48 seconds. Nanooks placed 8th of 42 in day 1. Joe Cook will have the day 2 recap on Monday. Well, to wrap up our local sports action, let's go out to Hutchinson High School where the small school Denali conference championships were taking place with 8 different schools and around 80 high school wrestlers. To the mats this time, wrestlers are fighting for that spot to the state championship in Anchorage at Bartlett High School. On the mats for the first match was Jonathan St. Andre of Eielson taking on Kyle Pierce of Monroe. Kyle was able to get the pin victory formation in the third period in the 115-pound weight class. Next match, moving up to the 120 pounds, Walter Lord out of Galena, winning the pin over Sean Dawsey in the second period at a 3:49 mark. Now this next match, you may be surprised, but yes, girls wrestling can't get any better than this. Check it out. Elena Jacobs takes on Patience McQueen in the 120 women's weight class. Both wrestlers are teammates of Galena High School. Jacobs found the pin victory in the second period. Coach of the Year goes to Ben Blasco of Galena, and Outstanding Wrestler goes to Cody Green of Valdez.
Well, this is the season-ending tournament to decide which wrestlers you're taking to state this year, basically. It's for our conference. There's 8 schools here right now, and it's 16 weeks basically of hard tournaments and everything else out there to try to get to this point, to get them ready to qualify for the state tournament and face the top 16 in the state.
And I'll wrap it up for our Sportscast tonight. Katie Looper has your full weather forecast coming up next, and stay tuned.
Welcome back to our Saturday edition. So, Austin, we're glad you could join us. You ran out of gas, huh?
Yeah, I did. It was a good day whenever you go to the gas station after a long day, get a Red Bull to make up for the long day, to help you boost your day. Run out of gas by the gas station, and our PA, Brandon, came to my rescue.
Oh, that's nice to get. Alaskans are notorious for being super helpful if someone breaks down on the side of the road.
It was kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, everything happens for a reason, so why
That's
not?
all right.
I know, right?
All right. Well,
at least it wasn't snowing.
Exactly. Well, let's take a look at our weather now. It's 9 degrees at the airport right now, and our normal high was 6 degrees, and our normal low was -12. Now, our record high was 51 in 1934, but got as low as -58 in 1935, just a year later. And our sun rose at 10:34 this morning and set at 2:52, giving us only 4 hours and 17 minutes of daylight and a loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. But of course, that's all going to change around during the solstice. And let's see what's happening around Alaska today. Juneau and Ketchikan look like rain showers for them. 16 in Juneau, 34 in Ketchikan. Anchorage Bowl, snow showers for them at 23, along with Kodiak at 44. Clouds in Cold Bay at 36, yet sunny in Bethel at 37. Nome and Denali Park area looks sunny, yet a little warmer in Nome at 30 than Denali at 6. -7 in Barrow with clouds, and Fort Yukon at -6 degrees. Now let's see what's happening around the state today. Early next week it's going to be dry and comfortable. Rainy there up in our northwest though. However, pleasant temperatures in the deep south and showers in Miami, and a little bit chillier up there on our in our northeast. All right, well, let's see what's happening on the North Slope today. Cloudy skies in northern Alaska, -9 in Barrow, -6 in Fort Yukon, and a little warmer in Nome at 18 degrees. Now as for the interior, cloudy in Fairbanks and Delta, and snow in Healy. Nice temperatures, 7 in Fairbanks, 10 in Delta, and 17 in Healy. Now moving on down to our east, mostly cloudy in Juneau, and rain is likely for Ketchikan, and temperatures around 40 degrees. Now as for our west side of the state, let's see, rain in Kodiak, mixed snow and rain for Bethel, and partly sunny in Cold Bay. Mid-40s for Cold Bay and Kodiak, wow, that's nice, and 22 in Bethel. And lastly, for our south central bowl area, rain in Homer, snow and rain in Valdez, and partly sunny in Anchorage. Temperatures there around 40 and 34 in Anchorage. Now for our forecast tonight, -5 degrees, decreasing clouds throughout the night. And as for tomorrow, we can expect mostly cloudy skies around 7 degrees. And lastly, for our extended outlook, we can check out what's happening next week. We can expect snow on Monday and Tuesday, and yet it's going to clear up Wednesday through Friday to partly sunny skies. 10 degrees on Monday, 5 on Tuesday and Wednesday, 0 on Thursday and Friday. So it's going to decrease in temperatures throughout the week and maintain our -5 nightly temperature. So not too bad temperatures.
No, not at all. And you get to go skiing this weekend. I'm so jealous.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. I'm going to Alyeska.
Oh my goodness.
It'll be a short little vacay.
So maybe once I get some time, I actually go practice some skiing. I haven't been since I was like 7 or 8. I may try to go up there and do some flips or something, maybe.
Oh, I wouldn't take it that far yet.
I know it. But have a good trip.
Oh, thank you. Well, that'll wrap up our Saturday edition of Fairbanks Evening News, and we're glad you could join us.
And, well, you can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a good weekend.